Travis Wayne Goodsell. Wow. Yeah, after the fact sign in the heavens. Pittsburgh was reporting today, all day today, that people were seeing a meteor flash. And I was trying to find out, okay, where in the sky, what time. People were not knowing that they need to give that information until I found a site from I think it was the 5 channel in Pittsburgh that gave the information. It was in the eastern sky at 6:20 in the morning. This morning. And so pulled out my Urim and Thummim, the Stellarium program, and looked into the heavens, typed in the location for Pittsburgh, flipped it around to have the east coast on the horizon, and set the time for 6:20 in the morning. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Came from Venus. There's a sextoids, some meteor showers, but it was heading in that direction towards it. But the location, according to the video, according to the Venus. Wow. Venus is throwing fireballs. Venus is upset. Da, 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 da. And then I realized, wait a minute, it's out of the Crab constellation. And it's heading straight for the star Regis. You know, where the total solar eclipse occurred on the 21st of August 2017. And I thought, okay, well, after I got the snapshots of that, which I'll show you, I think I've already showed you, I then clicked 3 days ahead to Saturday morning, October General Conference, where I've already told you it's a day of falling stars. Yep. Right over it. Do you understand what that means, Mormons? Of course you don't, because you didn't even know to know. So we have on that morning the moon in conjunction with Mars, who I've identified as Nelson, because he was at the top of Libra when Monson died. Trump becomes Mercury because during the election, Mercury was at the top of the scales of judgment of Libra as well. Transfer of authority. Mercury was for government of the United States. Mars is for the authority of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so the Venus has been identified as the church, the members, Mormons. And they're at the King star. When there are 3 meteor falls in conjunction with Mars in Pisces, which I've done the video this morning. You know, the 2 fish and loaves of bread, how that all applies into the symbolism there. And the destruction of Babylon, destruction of the great and abominable church being the same, etc., etc. So Venus, as the members of the church, correspond with Nelson, all being a religious symbol for that morning. And what you're experiencing is the fall of Nelson, but the church members are becoming the kings and queens, high priests and high priestesses, hereafter to rule and reign in the house of Israel forever. Sound familiar? Any Mormons who may possibly be listening, who haven't already shut it off because they were offended by Are You Ready? Do not see what the symbolism is there. Nelson Falls Church, however, gets crowned. We're in the Exodus. What happened during the Exodus? Moses confronts Pharaoh. Let my people go. Pharaoh says no. Coronavirus. 3 days of darkness. Sound familiar? What's been happening all this year? Coronavirus. The second of the 3 days of darkness occurred this year. Father's Day, if you missed it. And now we're in the new year, when the Exodus occurred after the coronavirus. Sukkot is Saturday, the Feast of Ingathering. We just had the Day of Atonement, the cleansing of Nelson. Well, the church, the moon. Religion. And yeah, Venus has been struggling in the sky to become the sun at noonday, as Sirius is, as prophesied, winning. Jupiter is right out there in the sky right now. He's in the sun, sets in the morning sky as Sirius rises in his place. All part of the symbolism. The restoration of the church, the kingdom, with Moses and the Exodus. Because that's what Moses did. He took over authority from Pharaoh. Because Pharaoh's successor, gone, dies. No more dynasty. It ends. Moses then takes over, and a new dynasty begins, restoring the kingdom. And so I did the whole video talking about palm leaves on the temple of the tabernacle, as it's Sukkot as booths, tabernacles. And the need to build Zion, more so now than ever, as Trump gave orders to white supremacists to stand by. And like I said, I have no clue what will happen. I have no clue if it'll happen on the day of conference, or if it's a plus or minus month period, or if it's a series. Went over that also in other videos as well. And yeah, I thought that was very curious that being notified of that Pittsburgh asteroid led to a more enhanced version of the sign in the heavens for Saturday morning. And if you're wondering about Jupiter, he's still riding the Centurion, Sagittarius, and Saturn is on the back also with him. But whether they seem to play a part in that doesn't quite make much clarity. And so we can do educated guesses rather than speculations, as we can see how a fulfillment would take place where the members of the church take over the church. Because Nelson falling corresponds with the no more leadership of the church as Pharaoh lost the dynasty. And thus members would be left to themselves to run the church. I doubt they'll be able to do it on their own, even though the prophet gave you guys the holy grail of Mormonism so that all Mormons can have access to the church handbook of instructions, volume 1 for the leaders. I wouldn't recommend using it, but has any Mormon ever listened to me? Do Mormons even understand that they're supposed to have a man like Moses lead them to build the temple? Do they even know who to look for, since they don't know that such a thing was supposed to happen in the first place? Do they even know how to decide how big of a desolation is coming? Or is it just an abandonment? Brave Sir Robin ran away type situation. Okay, there's the LDS prophets fail to warn, as I'm concerned about what's about to happen. Alrighty. So Falling Star Forecast has done fairly well, 68. And then all know the sign, LDS sign of evil and hate, only 28. But come on, guys, we need more attention to this. I'm always right. I was right about the storm. You know, Rachel Maddow is talking about the standby order that Trump gave. So, yeah, because the church doesn't dissolve and pass on to the Mormons with Nelson gone. You've got to take out the whole authority. That means all 15 prophets and the 70. Because the 70 already had it changed on the Wikipedia page, thanks to a certain CES letter that was written in preparation for a lawsuit. And may backfire now, it looks like, as a possible scenario. But, yeah, will the shock cause the 70 to say maybe we can't figure this out? I don't know. Or maybe the 70s presidents get to go along with them, leaving the 70 without a 70 presidency, and thus unable to do the fulfillment, unless they call the presidency themselves without having authority to do so, because the 70 are called by the president of the church. Yeah, lots of chaos and confusion would occur if such a scenario, regardless of how it happened, whether it be coronavirus death, meteor strikes, it's the falling star week, I guess, month, or some other natural disaster, or fleeing the country. Who knows? Until it happens. And we have to first figure out, is it going to be on the day? Is it going to be plus or minus a month? Or is it a time frame situation with something else, and like the tetrad, where 3 apostles died after the 3rd tetrad before the 4th. So, yeah, I just am very, very curious as more on that sign was made aware to me, as I almost forgot and wouldn't have covered it until after the fact. So, yeah, this is a supplement to the falling star forecast. I like to word it that way.